Does your car have a spare tire?
Does your home have a smoke detector or box of bandages in the medicine cabinet?
If so, then you have experience in preparing for an emergency.
These may seem like small things, but small things can save lives even during a big emergency.
There's no way of knowing what type of crisis might happen or when it will strike, but there are 3 easy steps you can take to make sure you are ready for anything, from a terrorist attack to a tornado.
1. Create a plan for you and your family. 2. Prepare an emergency kit. And 3. Listen for information about what to do and where to go during an actual emergency.
We call it Ready in 3.
Emergency preparedness starts at home.
Our homes might be different, but the first step in getting them ready for a crisis is the same no matter where you live. You must have a plan. What will you do? Where will you go? And who will you call?
These are questions that you and your family should answer now to cut down on confusion during a crisis. Let's watch as one Missouri family develops their plan.
We've got the contact information all taken care of. Now we need to work through a few of the details, some of the things that we'll do in case there's an emergency. So where do you think we all should meet if there was one?
Well, we meet at the fire hydrant.
Meet at the fire hydrant?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to have an alternate location.
Oh, alternate to the fire hydrant? How about if we met at the Starbucks at the corner?
All right, good. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, good.
Let's say Dad's at the office, you 3 are at school, and I'm at work. What do you think, what would the first thing we would try to do?
Probably call each other.
But if we can't get through, we ought to have a central point of contact. Who should that be?
I think it should be Uncle Jim.
Well, except for he's here local. And lots of times in an emergency, local lines might be tied up. Maybe we should try to pick somebody out of town.
I think Mimi and Papa would be good.
My folks? Yeah, we could call Mimi and Papa. That's probably a pretty good idea. They're usually home.
Okay, so we'd call Mimi and Papa.
That's good, but I don't have their number.
Oh, but that's why you'll have your plan with you. And you need to make sure you keep it in your backpack all the time, all right? If we're all here in the house and there's an emergency, what room do you think we should get together in?
How about the entry hall?
Well, I think one of the things is we want to try to be someplace where there aren't a lot of windows or a lot of exposure to outside.
Well, how about the kitchen? That wouldn't be a bad room. It only has one window. We'd have a refrigerator. The kennel's there for Birdie, the dog, so we can bring him up into that.
Let's figure out where we'd go in case we can't get back in our house in case of emergency. What's everybody think?
Within St. Louis?
Yeah, within St. Louis.
Well, what about your office?
Well, that's a good idea. It's in walking distance. We've filled all this out. We'll make copies, and everybody needs to make sure they keep a copy with them, right? So,
Like in our wallets.
in your wallet or in your backpack, and not leave it in your locker at school. Just make sure you always have it with you, so you've got all the contact information.
Great.
Okay, that sounds good.
Does your family have a plan?
Yes, we do. My kids go to an elementary school that is so close to our house. I can get there in less than 2 minutes. Also, if I'm not around, they know they can walk to the neighbor's house and wait for me there.
My mother has trouble getting around, so my brother and I have it worked out that if an emergency takes place during the day, it's his responsibility. If an emergency takes place during the evenings or the weekends, I take care of her.
That's great.
The important thing is to remember to take all family members into account. Know the emergency plans for your kids' schools. Make sure to include parents who may be in a retirement home, relatives or friends with special needs, and of course, the family pet.
Obviously, different lives need different plans, but you can follow the Mittens lead and start the same way by reading the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services Family Safety Guide and filling out the family plan with your own family. To request a copy, call 573-526-4768.
The second step to being prepared is to have an emergency kit. After all, what if you don't have enough food in the house and you can't make it to the store for days or weeks? Or what if your electricity isn't working? Getting an emergency kit together is really easy, and it will make your life a lot less complicated down the road should something ever happen. Let's visit Gina at home as she gets started on her own kit.
I've been looking through the emergency kit checklist in the Family Safety Guide, and I'm ready to start raiding my pantries and closets for supplies. Let's go. Wow, just look at all this stuff. I found some toilet paper, granola bars, flashlights, soap, heavy-duty tape, some trash bags, and even a waterproof bag to store my important family documents. Well, it seems like I did pretty well.